Hey team, your mate Barry Watson here on this rather wet, wintry weekend where yesterday we had quite the adventure. We had to walk across quite a big avalanche, and last night in the hut we got jolted by a strong, sharp earthquake in the middle of the night. But today though I want to look at the pros and the cons of solo versus group backpacking. Which is the best? What are some things that you need to be wary of? And what I want to do is I want to share my top way in which I slant and which I go towards, and you may be surprised what I like best, so make sure you stick around to the end. So without further ado, let's get into it. For a growing amount of people, venturing solo into the wild is the ultimate act of freedom. It enables them to do whatever they want, whenever they want to. They don't have to wait till others become available. They can literally take off at a moment's notice. They love the ability to totally unplug, clear their head, escape the crowds, and listen to nature or music while they walk at a pace that best suits them without having to feel pressured or feeling responsible for those either behind or ahead of them. And of course, they can take as long as they like when taking videos or snapping photos, and they can set up camp where and when they like. The world is literally their oyster. Certainly a great day to be up backpacking. And the other added benefit of solo backpacking is that many gain greater confidence by having to learn valuable new skills that they might naturally lean on others for if traveling in a group. And on the downside, people don't like the most about it is that they lack companionship, and there's no one to help them if they get injured or come across a particularly nasty section of a track like a river or an avalanche prone section that we recently came across. Solo versus group backpacking. I'm interested to hear in the comments what your thoughts are, and more particularly why. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, you might like to do it at the same time. At the top of the reasons why some people love backpacking in groups would have to be the fun, the laughter, and the banter you get with family and being with friends.
Steaming hot.
The journey and the destination take on new meaning as you can learn things about each other that you didn't know, and also it helps pass the time of day, especially if you're tired, going on a really steep section or walking on a particularly boring part of the track. And of course, if you're able to share some of your gear like tents and cooking equipment, that'll help lighten the load you have to carry. And from personal experience, some of the people I regularly hike with now are my best friends. They may be what you call your hiking homies. And you can't get too far into this discussion without mentioning food and being able to see what tasty treats people take with them, and of course, get to sample some of their sweet stuff along the way. Similarly with gear items, it's good to see what gear others use and what new things you might need to add to your next shopping list. On the safety side of things, you can't beat traveling in a group. There's certain trips that some people will never do alone. However, knowing that there's greater skills, experience, and knowledge in the group they go with gives them added confidence to take on new challenges that they certainly wouldn't do alone. And it also at the same time gives them valuable new skills and knowledge that they can use for future solo or group trips. And on the downside of group backpacking, you might want to go to different places that the group wants to. There may be fractions between people and disagreements, or the trip may disagree on what's best alternative B option if you get stuck halfway through a trip and bad weather closes in. In terms of this discussion though, I wonder whether it's not so much either or, but I wonder if it's both. I wonder if the sweet spot is actually being able to get the best of both worlds. I'm certainly not the fastest guy in the group I go with, so I'm usually tailing Charlie, and as you know, I like to stop and take videos, so it's good for me to be able to do solo trips when I can, and also group trips, and being able to get the best of both worlds really hits a really good spot for me. Thanks for checking in today. I really appreciate you hanging around. So what are your thoughts on solo versus group backpacking? Where do you lie? But more importantly, why? Please put your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you haven't subscribed and would like to see more of these types of videos, I'd love to have you along for the ride. And until then, always stay safe, stay strong. See you in the next action-packed, informative, and slightly humorous video. Bye.